Stan, here we are in the man cave. I'm not really supposed to be in here today. Spent far too much time in here the last couple of days. My wife's painting like a demon up there. Yeah, so I'm just coming here to get out of the way. So, what have we got today? As regular viewers may know, I am a binocular themed. Right, now before we go any further, I've got to get these other binoculars down just as a show. Tell. Right, so I'll just put them there. Now, if you go on the forums, you talk to people online, you meet people at fairs and what have you. People have their own theories, comments on the rights and wrongs and the whys and wherefores of collecting. And I know a few people do not like eBay. They say it's crap, it's this, it's that, the other. You can't get anything decent on there. Another thing that people often say, not necessarily just collectors, people say everybody knows the value of something because of smartphones, and that you can go to a fair, photograph something. I know what that is. I don't agree with that at all. I think that's, yes, people have more information at the fingertips, but still, I don't believe that you can beat knowing about the subject. And when I say, like, I mean research. When you say research, I don't mean sitting down reading a book and making notes. What I mean, myself and the other guys that I'm in contact with are no doubt exactly the same as me. You immerse yourself in this collecting game, if you like. I'm constantly on eBay, looking, filtering through, and I have bought crap, and I've also had some bargains. Same when you go to a military fair or a flea market, just rooting through things, see if you can find something worth picking up for less than the market value, if you like. So that comes to my point today. My latest purchase, a pair of 6x30 Dienstglas German World War II binoculars. Now, I already have two other pairs of these in very usable condition, and in a usable condition you're going to be paying 80, 90, £100 for them, and I think that's a fair price. If they've got the rain shield and the leather like flap thong that goes on there to fasten to the tunic, you're definitely going to be paying £100 over, and I think that's about a reasonable price in today's market. So these ones here, I say a Voigtlander and Son, and they have the blue triangle on them, which is a code, if you like, to say that they were lubricated with a grease that would be good for from -40 to -50. They wouldn't seize up. And this was probably done from either late 1943 into 1945, but mainly 1944. Now these ones, I'll run through the description and then I'll show you them close up. So these have been at some point in their life ordnance tan or gale brown, often called Africa Core binoculars, which is a mistake because they were just a sand colour type of binoculars. Yep, great for the desert, I suppose, but they weren't specifically made for coloured because of that. Otherwise, black. At some point in their lives, they have been overpainted. Now, they have a code, maker's code 2645533. It's a serial number, and the maker's code DDX, then dot in the blue triangle. That is, as I said, Voigtlander and Son, Brunswick. So let's have a little look at them up close. Now, you can see that, I'll get my little pointer at the top there, Dienstglas 6x30, serial number DDX, blue triangle. Now I'll try and find a bit of ordnance paint for ordnance tan paint. You can see it on there. I hope it's coming up in the video footage. Might be some more at the bottom. You can see it in there. There is quite a, you can see it on the screw heads as well. It looks silver, I can see that in the video, but it isn't. Trust me. Trust me. Do trust Stan. It's because it's dark in here, but it has got ordnance tan to it. There's there, see it there? There you go. That is ordnance tan. So these have been repainted. Now, how much did Stan pay for them? 25 quid. There you go, on eBay. There was one bidder on them from like a charity, and I bought them in a, it said for restoration. Now, we'll get back to these, we'll get to these binoculars, which are a bit dusty. Now, many moons ago, these are, let's have a look. These are Zeiss Prism. No, they're not Zeiss. I know they're not. They've got the broad arrow mark on the front. You see it? And a soldier's name or someone's name engraved in it. These have been overpainted as well. I thought these weren't. I think these are World War I, to be honest. And I think they're American. Now, you see the little holes there? They're adjustment screws for the prism. And these were terribly, terribly discollimated, as in out of line. So when you look through them, you would get a double image. So Stan in his wise brain decides to unpick the little screws and alter the prism so it was collimated. What happened? I shattered the prism. So these pair of binoculars, well, they're not useless, you can use them as a monocular, but the left hand side, you see there where I've gone through them, World War I binoculars, and I've sort of ruined them because in effect they are blind in this eye. It's just a white haze. That's all there is to it. And I probably could get another prism for them, but it put me off tinkering with binoculars for life. Well, until I got these ones, and because they were cheap, less than 30 quid with the postage, and when I got them, it was quite clear that somebody had already been inside them, because when you're doing this, you need really precise screwdrivers to fit in the gap, so you don't, like, they're only alloy screws, and you can see probably on that one, I actually did that, bit of a mess. I am a clumsy swine. And I thought, well, I'll go on the old YouTube, take them away for one side. I'll go on the old YouTube and I'll see, how do you take Zeiss binoculars or Dienstglas binoculars apart to clean them. And there's a guy on there called Binoculars. I've watched his videos before. He hasn't put anything up new for a long time, 8-9 years, so whether the fella's stopped doing his channel, I'm unsure. But he showed you, it's simple steps, how to take these off, how to take the covers off, and how to take the prisms out. Now these posts here, you can't just unscrew the 3 screws there and lift it all off. These posts are screwed into the body of the binocular, so you have to get these off first. Now, he suggested using a thing called a boa strap, which is like a little rubber or plastic thing that you wrap round and you can unscrew them and it doesn't damage the metal. Now, I don't have one, but luckily for me, because someone's already been inside, these posts, I could unscrew them by hand. So I took them off, cleaned the lenses top and bottom, and then I took the lids off. This lid was laying at an angle. So now bear in mind, they're cheap, someone's already had a go at them, and they were really foggy and dirty when you look through them. Probably 40%, 50%, that's all you could see. So I thought, why not? Took the top off. Now they did have sort of a bit of gunk in the little underneath channel where it sits on the body. Probably some sort of sealant or glue for in the field conditions. I thought, I'll clean it out, because A, it's obviously blocking the top covers from going down properly, and B, these are not going to be field glasses. I'm going into combat with them, so it doesn't matter if they're not 100% sealed, as it were. So I took out the prism on this side. There's a little bar in there. Probably would have been better if I'd edited the video properly and showed you how I did the process, but that's not me, you know that. It's nearly a professional video, this, isn't it? Oh, take a breath. Take a drink of water, Stan. You've earned it. I'll have to, actually, I'm a bit concerned. There was loads of beer in here the other day. All seems to have gone. Don't know where that is. Anyway, right, so get back to the point. There's a bar, like a restraining bar on top of the prism. I took it off. I marked on the one side of the prism which side it was, which you have to do. And there was like the original markings were on there, so I managed to get the prism out. It's a bit fiddly. Nitrile gloves on, your rubber gloves. Cleaned them all up. Now I didn't want to overstretch myself and start taking lenses out, so I got a spectacle cleaning rag and I pushed it down and cleaned out both sides. Didn't do as well on this side as that side, but dislodged some of the muck and crud. Again, put it all back together, made sure the prism was in the right place, and I repeated it on that side. Now, they are usable now. I'd say they're 75-80% usable. There's still a bit ring of like mould around the outer, but you can definitely, you could take them out for the day, going bird watching or doing what you wanted. And I reckon I could probably sell these on now for more. Probably I'd easily double my money if I wanted to, but I'm not selling them because they're mine. The other problem with them was not only had they been previously overpainted, these plates here, along there and there, had someone, you could see the scrape marks where literally they'd scraped all the paint off as much as they could, so they were silver. Well, that was no good to me, so I got some aerosol paint and sprayed it in. I didn't want to take them all apart again and spray them properly like with the aerosols. I sprayed it in the cap, just a little paintbrush, overpainted them again, and wore the edges down to sort of match it in. The only issue really is you can see that the writing isn't clear on there. I don't know whether I might get a fine piece of wet and dry and just reveal the letters a bit more. I mean, the triangle there should be blue, but painting that, I'm not that good. I might flat that back a little bit more just to expose the lettering, because now they're full of black paint. When they were in ordnance tan colour, I've seen pictures of these, they were just filled in black. They weren't highlighted white like some of them are, but you can't really read the letters. But that's something I might have to fiddle with. Now, because they've been overpainted, I had no dramas at all. These Bakelite eye cups were covered in like black cruddy paint. It wasn't completely all over it, but I thought, you know something, I'm going to clean them up with a bit of acetone. Don't be shocked. Someone might say, oh, you've cleaned off a bit of history, but I haven't. They've come up really, really nice. And the ordnance tan ones I've seen online have this brown sort of wooden effect to them, and they are very nice. Didn't have a strap, so I took these off a pair of World War I British binoculars that I had that are really uncollimated, and you can see down the lenses there's probably a little bit of round the edges muck, but yeah, there you go, that's a better one. So you've got that bit of muck in there, and again that one there, that's a bit of a loose floater there I've dislodged. But now I've been in, I'm going to invest in a proper set of precision screwdrivers, and if that bit of muck moves around there, I can just take them apart again. It's spurred me on, because I've got a couple of pairs of binoculars which would benefit from a clean, and I always say keep away from ones that say benefit from a clean, but at this sort of price, why not? I'll look out for a rain shield, maybe the leather thong that goes on there. I've seen them advertised for stupid money on eBay, so that might be something I'll pick up, maybe at a flea market or something like that. Now, and I've just looked at these at a jet passenger plane going overhead, and even with some of my really good binoculars, because it's such a distance away, there's sometimes a bit of a double image because they're not collimated. Now, bear in mind, I've took these apart and they are still perfectly collimated. So for once, I haven't broken something, because I've had so much stuff through my hands which I've tried to clean it, I've tried to improve its condition, and I've knacked it. I have mucked it up. So yeah, what do you reckon? I reckon they're a top pair of binoculars for less than £30. I am really, really pleased with these Voigtlander and Son 6x30 NCO Squad Leader Common Garden German binoculars, and these are the cheapest end of the World War II German optical equipment you can get. But like I said, for a really good pair, you would pay 100 plus, 150, 160 if you had all the kit with you. Very rarely do they come with the Bakelite case. I read somewhere that the Germans used to just fling them because they were quite an awkward thing to have strapped to your belt, and the Germans used to just wear these simply against the tunic with the rain guard on and the little thong attached to the uniform. I've got a pair over there, but I can't be bothered to take them off the mannequin. You know me, you've seen them before. Anyway, and before we go, let's have a little look. All changing, Man Cave headquarters, been moving stuff around. Let's have a look at Ivan. He's finished for what he's going to be. POA, Russian Liberation Army, it should be lower down on the sleeve on some of my uniform books, but it's my man cave, and I'm going to leave it like that. Also, the Austrian Y straps now have Repro D loops on there for the belt, so that's that finished. He's got a pair of Zeiss binoculars on him as well. So that's it for now. Nearly a serious video and me talking crap for 15 minutes. I better go and do some work or my wife will be getting at me. Right, so this is Stan. See ya.